Hello everyone, this is Ross from Retro Dream Beam. I'm an eBay seller full-time. I've been doing this with my fiance Netta for more than 4 years now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm about to go into the stuff we are shipping out today and Wednesday, so not as good as other days, so the sales have been a little bit slower, but overall the sales have been good for the past few months, so I can't complain. All right, first up is going to be this. This is Villanomicon. This is going to be some kind of like trade comic paperback, not paperback novel. The trades, like the thicker ones, not the single issues. I don't know too much about this one. I'll get like occasional chaff comic book stuff from someone that knows comics, but I'll still buy it really cheap and I'll still sell them for like a small amount. So this one sold for $7 plus shipping. Everything's gonna be plus shipping. The important thing about this one was I had multiple copies of this, so this is the last one. So I have sold through all of them. I guess they spent $7.08, so it's 8 cents off. All right. Next up is going to be, I got a bunch of random cards. There was these like Incredible Hulk. These were like some kind of cover cards for some kind of, I think it's like the Upper Deck 2003. There was like 5 of them. I ended up selling these for $5 on like a lower offer because I didn't really know what to value these at. They weren't like anything super special, but they weren't super janky. So yeah, this is going to repeat buyer. They're going to appreciate it. People like the Hulk and Marvel stuff in the card world, not just like the Magic the Gathering and Pokemon stuff. All right. Next up is going to be 2 versions of this. So there's going to be Bang. This is going to be one of those like deduction games where there's going to be a bunch of people that have like little guns, and then you're going to have like little powers and abilities to be able to eliminate people. And it's supposed to be a lot of fun. This one's by Mayfair Games. They also have like a bullet version where like it comes with some expansions and like an actual bullet. I've never played this game, but I know a lot of people like it. It's one of those social board games. And then there's Dodge City. This is the expansion. The only thing that's missing from these is the instruction booklet, which is one, it's really short rules. It's gonna be like a small little pamphlet that you can just look up online. But yeah, I decided to put these both together, and I always keep an eye out for Mayfair Games stuff. You saw me sell the Rollade stuff yesterday, which is when they did role-playing game stuff. Most people know them for Settlers of Catan, and I don't think they're around anymore. They end up changing their company. They got bought out by like Asmodee, and then they turned to Lookout Games. So the Mayfair stuff I keep an eye out for. They made a lot of stuff, very nostalgic for a lot of people that used to go to board game conventions. They would go play like different games in the demo hall. So yeah, people collect them. So yeah, these two end up going for $23.80. Normally I list this stuff separately, but I figured this is like an expansion that you can't play without the base game, and I happen to have them together in front of me when I was listing, so I put them together. All right. Next up is going to be War Machine. This is going to be a game that's now owned by Steamforged Games, which did a lot of IP board games, and now they have War Machine. They got rid of the Hordes fantasy part, and you can still use the old figures. This is going to be Retribution of Skryre. I forget like exactly what their like whole, what they're supposed to be representing, but this is Alara, Tyro of the Third Chamber. It's like a character solo. So this game, you'll pick little squads. You'll have some points, and you'll have like a Warcaster, as well as you can add these solo characters, and you'll have like little action points to divvy up between all your characters, and you're trying to get the other person's Warcaster. You pick a faction, you paint them up. It's kind of like Warhammer and Warhammer 40k, but it's a lot cheaper, and there's like less figures overall, and you also pick a faction. So yeah, this ended up going for $12.60 to repeat buyer. I wish I had more of this stuff because I was always picking it up and always selling it, even though it was a dead game at the time as they weren't making new stuff. Now that someone else owns them and they kind of revived the game, finding this stuff cheaper it might be harder. We'll see. All right. Next up is going to be this lot of HeroClix. This is just a bunch of uncommons and uncommons as well. So no rares, no super rares, no chases. And it has like the cards with them. There's no particular theme to this one other than this is just like a bulk lot of them. I'm going to be trying to pick up some more HeroClix today. So we'll see if I get them. I'll do like a video on it. As well as I picked up some Skylander stuff. I just have to like doing the videos take some time, but I'm trying to put out some other stuff other than just the what sold. So, but yeah, got a bunch of these commons and uncommons. Always do well. They'll sell slowly, and then I'll list the rares and super rares separately. But yeah, these end up going for $10.50 for this baggie. All right, moving along, we have a combo order. This is going eBay International. This is going to be some police cars. I got a bunch of police like diecast cars and just other stuff with like police labels because there was someone, a storage unit flipper, that they got a storage unit that had a lot of police stuff, but they don't like to deal with the small fiddly stuff. That's my realm, so we'll occasionally like message each other, and then I'll buy a bunch of stuff from him. Like I'll basically buy like one big bulk purchase. But yeah, I got a bunch of police stuff from him, and these were just like 2 different cars. I don't know much about cars, but I know people like police stuff as well as these ones are pretty decent quality ones compared to like some of the little small ones. But yeah, these end up going for $20.98, and they are going international. I don't think this says anything. This says Buddy on it, and that's it. And obviously, a lot of like sheriff little stars and the word police and stuff. So One of those was supposed to light up. I did mark it as it doesn't work. I actually unscrew this. I have a little toolbox by my listing station. I put in some batteries. I have this huge like stash of batteries that work, so I get to test different stuff. So I have that always ready to test the things. All right, but that one did not work, but I described that it did not. Next up is going to be 3 general Avalon Hill magazines. I've gotten these before, and they're kind of like all over the place in my head. Sometimes they come with like extra accessories, all over the place, meaning like some are good, some are bad. Sometimes I do them individually. Sometimes I'll list them together. I would consider them like medium overall for like, it's been a while since I've had these. These are like the scraps of a bunch that I got a long time ago, way before we were on YouTube. So it's a little, my memory's a little fuzzy for these, but yeah, sold 3 of them. Avalon Hill does a lot of the war game board games, so like that's what's in these magazines, as well as like there'd be updates or rules or stories about people playing the game, catalogs, advertisements, stuff like that. So yeah, these end up going for, oh yeah, not too much, $5.77 to repeat buyer. There you go. I know I've gotten some good money for some of the Avalon Hill general magazines, as well as like when I said that they have the inserts and stuff, that adds a lot more value to it. All right. Moving along, we have 2 GDW Europa series. Maps Europa is like this really complex board game series. There's like 20 or so of them. They represent, I think, World War II, I believe, and you're supposed to play them in order. No one's ever finished all of them, I think, because like they're that complex and there's like a lot of them to it. But there's a lot of bits and pieces that I sell. It's really hard to find them complete because they're hard to count because they have thousands of pieces. They're also like these boxes that get mushed. So I've sold like good boxes before just as a boxes. These are just 2 of the little map sheets right here. This is like Europe, and another one was, I forgot what the other one was. Let me see. It was like Iceland. I think it was Iceland. Yeah, I think that's Iceland. So yeah, 2 of these maps, the hex maps, just for that series game. These end up going for $10.49. All right, next up is going to be a lot of 3 Physics Today magazines from 1995. It was like April, July, and November, I believe. So I put 3 of them in here. Got a bunch of stuff from a person cleaning out their storage nearby our storage unit. So it's able to buy a ton of magazines and stuff that they didn't care about anymore. So yeah, sold these 3. We like to sell magazines and books. So they went through stuff and we negotiated. So yeah, these I'm going for $17.49. That was a bit ago at this point that we did that deal. Next up is going to be Kabalite Warriors Warhammer Fan. I think it's 40K. It says Games Workshop 1998 on these. So I wasn't too sure. I feel like I accidentally listed these too cheap because I thought I listed them higher. Whatever, they sold. I just listed these like 2 days ago. It's not a big deal. These were just in like a random box of miniature bits and pieces that I had. So it's like 8 of these little sprues. Some of them are missing stuff. Some of them still have the legs. So they might be able to make like 1 or 2 of these warriors. But it was cool because it was Games Workshop from 1998. You can still use their stuff from all the years. But I like the vintage stuff. I feel like there's 2 different types of people. There's people that don't care about it, and then in my opinion, I think there's actually a lot of people that do care about maybe less quantity, but like the people that like the older stuff, they want to buy and collect it. You know, they get the nostalgia for it, and they can also use the figures. So $7.71. I remember there was one time Annette and I were sourcing somewhere, and there was us looking through stuff, and then there was another couple looking through stuff, and then that person, the guy was looking at the Warhammer bits and pieces. He picked it up, put it down. He's like, "Oh, I don't want this." And then his like wife or whatever said that she was like, "Oh, you should sell this stuff. Like like look what they're doing. They're picking up all this stuff. You should sell." He's like, "Nah, no one likes the old stuff." And then she just walked over. She's like, "Okay, you guys can sell this." And Netta was like, "Okay, thank you." So we got a bunch of these like Warhammer stuff that we did eventually sell. But yeah, some people just want to play their game. Not everyone's a flipper. Some people are just looking for the stuff that they want, which is, it's good. Not everyone has to be doing everything all at once. They don't have to all be sellers. There are people that are just getting the things that they want. All right. It was just an interesting story. Maybe not. All right. Next up is going to be a Pokemon card. This is the story for, this was also an interesting one. We were at a yard sale. It was one of the last yard sales we've been to. And we got a lot of stuff cheap from this person. They didn't have too much, but we got some cheap stuff. Like we got the Mega Bloks Dragon set and some books. And then there happened to be just this one card in like a little box. It's a Lieutenant Surge's Magneton. I haven't found like Pokemon or video games in a long time. I knew that this card was worth like a little bit, but it was like heavily played. There's like a little dents. There's wear on the edges. There's no like crazy damage, but it's definitely, I listed as heavily played. And I asked them how much they want to sell this for. They're like, "Oh, a card a quarter." And I was like, "Okay, I'll take it." And then she started like getting nervous. She was like, "Wait a second. is that card worth a lot of money? Are you like are you like scamming me or whatever? I was like, no, this one's heavily played. I was like, I don't have this one memorized, but if I had to take a guess, like near mint's probably 15 to 20. This one's heavily played, so probably between $5 to $10. And then she was like, okay, whatever, you can have it. So I ended up selling it for $8.40. So I was correct. I was going to sell it between $5 to $10. I was just going off of like random memory. I could have been wrong. I didn't think that it was going to be more than 15 or 20, because like if it was near mint, maybe I could have gotten that. But yeah, this is, I think it's the Gym Hero set. Yeah, Heroes. It's like the white little swoosh symbol here, and then it has like the little character, the badges. This is Lieutenant Sarge. I forgot which one. It's been a long time. $8.40 for this, so it's been a while since I got a Pokemon card. But they were really nervous to sell that one after they told me a quarter. All right. And last up for the day is going to be 8 of these sheets for TSR. This is going to be monster sheets for Forgotten Realms. What were they? Oh, they were second edition monster like sheets. You would get these binders, and then we have the punched holes, and then I think they would actually have the official like labeling on the front. There'd be like different monster compendiums or something like that, and then you would have to get sheets from like Dragon magazines or various different places, and you put them all together, and then you have like a cool little sheet of like the monster. You can organize them by alphabetical, maybe by like the realm within Dungeons and Dragons. So yeah, 8 of these sheets end up going for $8, so $1 a piece. That's everything. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Hope everyone's having a great week so far.